very bucolic. The word.
Yeah.
So lots of, yeah.
I don't know what that. Whoa.
Word of the day, bucolic. So
Bucolic.
like nature inspired. You can see the ferns.
My hair.
You can see
Your
Enas' hair, my hair.
We both got quite good hair, actually.
By the way, this is a very well-engineered comb-over. I shouldn't really be admitting this.
Why are you admitting this?
I don't know.
I had no idea.
Really?
I've known you for how long? I didn't know this. It's really interesting because when we were doing like a bit of research,
yeah.
we were like,
researchers.
We were like, well, the Oscars, last Oscars, obviously Chris Rock got a smack.
Wait, was that last Oscars? Or
it wasn't last Oscars because it was
Again,
the Oscar before, because the last Oscars, it was Jimmy.
And we forgot.
So
what does that tell you?
So maybe we need to not have Jimmy.
The last gig I went to actually was Justin Timberlake, and that was not fun.
I
think that's what put me off concerts.
He was a bit. He came to the UK, to London. Was it that tour?
I don't know. He was in Abu Dhabi, and he was like, "I'm bringing sexy back." I was like, "No, you're not. I'm leaving."
Yeah. You haven't.
He was dancing and panting and sweating, and this is before the Britney memoir, before like everybody going off him. I was like, "What is going on? Like, how is this guy ever famous?"
Let's talk about Davos, Oscar nominations.
And Real Palestine, as well as some really cool stuff that's coming up in the next week.
This is Culture Bites coming to you from the National News. I'm Enas and Refaei.
And I am not Farah, I'm Maan. Jalal, hi.
Hi. So yeah, we haven't got Farah here.
No, she is traveling. She's a globetrotter this week. Where is she? Bhutan?
Bhutan.
That's how you say it, right?
Yeah, she called me. She said she was stuck in Kathmandu.
Oh, wow.
Which is something that she only Farah can do.
We were talking about it before she left, and it sounds like a really cool trip. Because I don't know anything about Bhutan. I've never been, never heard of it. I mean, I'm very uncultured.
I'm waiting for the article.
So yes, the article is going to be good, and the images. And I told her to like keep posting things on Instagram so we can see.
Yes, I can't wait. Yeah. And I feel like I can't really say much about her traveling because you guys held the fort.
We held the fort last week, yeah. When you were traveling, when you were often gallivanting. Me and Narnia. Me and Farah were referring to your trip to. You went to Narnia.
Narnia. It did feel like Narnia.
Yeah,
it was like, I think at one point it hit -14.
Oh my god. You're lucky to have all that hair on your head.
I didn't protect. Actually, I have a fun story about my hair. I went out. There was slightly damp hair. My curls froze.
Really? Like icicles?
Actual icicle curls. It was so cold.
That's nuts.
Yeah, it was mad. It was great though. It was a good time. It was Davos, World Economic Forum, very serious journalism. Lots of people like around, like bumped into David Cameron.
Wow.
Jeff
Titanic
Bezos. Guy. Yeah, the Titanic.
Avatar.
This is Culture Bites.
Yeah.
No, so we had, I bumped into loads of people.
Wait, who's
really
James Cameron?
No, David Cameron was the old Prime Minister of the UK.
Okay, that's why I got confused. So you mean the Prime... Okay, got it. Got it. Okay, yep, okay.
So yeah, it was fun.
Anthony Bezos, he said. Bezos.
Yeah. Jeff.
Jeff. See, I have a thing with names, by the way. Anybody who knows me will know, like, I just have a thing with names. I just can't. Okay, so the Bezos guy, Amazon.
The Bezos guy, Amazon.
Yeah,
Are you good at faces then? Because I feel like it's one or the other.
Faces.
Really?
And I remember like the most random details about someone's childhood that they happen to mention. Ask me their name. Who are you? I don't know what your name is.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah.
I have a similar thing, but I'm bad with faces and names.
Okay. So you just don't know anyone.
I just don't know anyone. But like, tell me a random story. Like, oh yeah, you went backpacking in Cuba.
Oh, right.
I remember that story.
Yeah.
And I remember the funny thing that happened. But yeah, bad with faces and names.
It's weird the things we remember or choose to forget.
I forget a lot.
Yeah.
Let's not get into the reasons why. Yeah. Okay, so Farah will be back from Bhutan hopefully soon. I did manage to do some like cultural things
while you were there.
While I was there, there was a lot of people. I actually managed to interview Jane Goodall.
Oh, cool!
Right?
See, I know that name. I know who she is. The ones with the gorilla.
Yes.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
Chimpanzees.
Yes.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Yeah, she's amazing. And I think there was a lot of things going on in Davos, which kind of like touched on arts, culture, environment, which kind of like surround the World Economic Forum, but aren't like maybe what the center show is about.
Got you.
So other than interviewing Jane, I also managed to like catch a showing of a dance.
Performance?
A performance, yeah. So our editor-in-chief, Mina Al-Arabi, was actually hosting the Turkish breakdancer Yaman Akor, who is this kind of like formidable figure in the breakdancing world. Like apparently, if you're in the breakdancing world, you know him.
Okay.
Like he's
the Beyonce.
he's taught like Madonna. Like he was on Madonna's tour. I think he was on Beyonce's tour as well. He's like been on all these different tours. He's like the it man. He's been in the business for a really long time. He's like one of those like formidable figures in the breakdancing world. But he also does this like quite contemporary style. So he showcased a film which was supported by the World Economic Forum. And it was all about him in nature doing this kind of like abstract dance. Very beautiful. If you do get the chance to like check it out. And it was all improv. It was all kind of like in relation to nature. And he filmed it all in Iceland. And it's all him by himself. Really nice. Really cool. So I'll definitely like try and put some pictures up. I don't know if we can do this in the fancy edit. But Yaman Akor and his breakdance, which was inspired by the 1999 earthquake, actually.
In Turkey?
Yeah, in Turkey. He was a young man at the time.
It's cool when there's like an intersection with culture and something very serious like a business forum. So that's kind of cool that they had that.
Yeah, I thought so. I think it's nice when like, these big things in like the, world try and take note of actually how important culture is, arts and culture, for changing opinions. Because I think people think, World Economic Forum, we're all going to go there, we're going to do something like, it's all business, money. But like you do need to have alongside like art, environment, culture.
Because what's the point of all the money?
I mean, it could buy nice things.
Yeah, but but it also helps fund culture and cool stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if I had lots of money, I would buy lots of art. Probably why I don't have lots of money.
Speaking of culture.
Yes.
We are somewhere different.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, speaking of the obvious, we didn't actually
talk about this.
No, the most obvious thing. So we're in a temporary space because we are moving.
We're moving.
The national offices are moving. And so we have this very funky, cool, very bucolic, the word.
Yeah.
So lots of
I don't know what that
word of the day, bucolic. So
bucolic.
like nature inspired.
Nature inspired on your
countryside.
side. Oh no, there's still on my side.
There's a fern there. Yeah. So it's very cool. So if you're listening on the podcast, not on the podcast. If you're listening on a podcast platform, go on YouTube and check out us. You can see us. You can see the ferns.
My hair.
You can see
your
Enes's hair, my hair.
We've both got quite good hair, actually.
By the way, this is a very well-engineered comb-over. I shouldn't really be admitting this.
Why are you admitting this?
I don't know.
I had no idea.
Really?
I've known you for how long? I didn't know this.
Yeah, I shouldn't be this transparent.
Let's just cut.
No, you can leave it on. It's fine. I have no shame. But yeah, there's like a crystal ball situation happening there. So it's very well-engineered. But yeah, you can come see the crystal ball. Come see my well-engineered comb-over. So just go on YouTube and see us.
We need to talk about really, really quickly before we move on to like the first story of the day, which is what like Farah and I normally do. But we need to talk about Netflix.
Yes, our thoughts and feelings about Netflix. So you wanna?
No, you.
Okay, because it's a big number.
I don't know what it is.
Oh, it's really shocking. They have 8.8 billion subscribers as of now, which has increased since a while ago because of the show The Crown, which I don't watch.
I don't watch it either.
And The Killers, which I don't watch. Anything with murder I tend to avoid. And also because they put a crackdown on password sharing.
That's the big one, right?
That's probably the big one. And this is what has, ruined my life because I was just watching Netflix from my sister's account. So you're one of the people. Yeah, I'm a scrounger. Is that what they call them? Like a sponger? A sponger. So I just sponge off other people's passwords. And so when they did this, my sister freaked out. She's like, you're getting your own account. So
the producers just called us at 8.8 billion.
Apparently that's more than the population of Earth.
But so it's the revenue.
It's the revenue. Okay.
So their money has gone up to 8.8 billion. And you're part of the reason because now you're giving your money.
Hard-earned cash is paying for Netflix to be the biggest streamer platform in the world, probably. Don't call me.
And like before that, you were just sponging it off of other people.
I was just sponging it off people, as one does.
Like it wasn't everyone.
But listen, I want to say something about Netflix. Sorry to like take over. But when they first launched, they were like, hey guys, just share each other's passwords. It's fine. That was like part of their marketing thing. So it was like, we're the cool aunt, we're the cool uncle, But now they're like, no, we are the stepmom and you're going to do what I say, which is, it's good for them.
Harsh.
Not great for me.
We all need a bit of
we do
behavioral control, right?
Yeah, we do. We need to be put on our place. So it's fine. But
they tanked though, because I remember like watching the rise and fall of Netflix. So
that sounds like a documentary by Netflix.
It probably is. But like there was this moment where everyone was like, okay, Netflix, Love Film. I was actually a subscriber to Love Film. Do you remember Love Film?
No. Was that like a
Take
streaming
me back.
platform?
No, this was, I'm really showing my age now.
Okay.
Forget about your comb over. No, so there used to be this platform called Love Film, and you could rent 3 DVDs or 2 DVDs, and you'd send them back, and then they'd send the next one on your list. Physical ones,
Wow.
yeah. Because
Crazy.
yeah, I think back in the day. Hey, have you watched those films at the moment about Doomsday? Apparently, we're all meant to be collecting libraries again.
Oh, we have an article out about that actually on the
Yeah.
National about what you should collect every week.
Yeah.
Books, movies. Anyway, yeah.
Because we should, right?
We should be,
like,
for sure.
In case,
Something
the internet
happens.
stops.
Yeah. Y2K.
Y2K,
Throwback.
right? But yeah, I used to have these like for DVDs, and then you'd send them back, and then you'd get another load of DVDs. And apparently, that Love Film became Netflix,
Oh.
and then Netflix became just streaming, and they just were like, right, streaming's the future, and they just went all in on streaming.
That's so
And that's
fascinating.
what happened. Yeah. And everyone
now-
else was like, nah, that's never gonna kick off.
Yeah.
And now look,
And now Apple, what's the other one?
Disney.
Amazon, Disney.
everyone's trying to do it OSM Plus.
Look, it's great for us as we get to choose and see
Yeah.
where we want to put our money in, or just keep sponging off people, which
Or
I'm not advocating to do, but
You still do.
I still do every now and then. Speaking of, here
So
we go
let's
for the
move on
segue.
then. Yeah, go on. Do you do your segue?
What's my segue? My segue is films streaming. If you actually want to see a film in real life,
Yeah.
in the physical world.
What do you mean by in real life? Like it performed in front of me as a play?
No, I mean like out of your house.
Okay,
Out
yeah.
of the fantasy of your home.
Cinema.
In the cinema.
Ooh.
Yeah, go to Real Palestine, which is the Palestinian Film Festival, which is happening in Cinema Akil in Essecal Avenue.
Yes.
It's on until February the... Do you know? Do I know?
February. Well, it runs until February the 4th.
February the 4th. So it's running until February the 4th. And there are I think 12 feature films, a bunch of short films. There's also workshops happening for people who are interested in film. And the theme this year
Yeah.
is resilience.
Yeah.
Following on from what's happening in Gaza. So there's 2 films that are happening that I want to just highlight.
Yes.
The first one is called The Teacher. It's directed by Farah Andrews. It's a feature film, and it's about a man who is a teacher of... it's set in Palestine. A man who's a teacher, and he's trying to sort of convince one of his students from doing something very reckless and crazy as a response to revenge, while also getting to know a volunteer from the West and her sort of realizing what's actually happening in Palestine. So there's a lot of interesting layers in the film happening. If you haven't seen the trailer, check it out on YouTube.
And this isn't the first time they've done this. The
real
yeah.
No, this is not the first time. I'm not sure what
so it's
year
not
this
just
is.
because of the
No,
war.
this is an annual yearly film festival that focuses for 10 years on Palestine. It's happening in Essecal Avenue, so it's all Palestinian films and documentaries. What's really cool about it as well is that they also have a market in front of Cinema Akil with lots of Palestinian inspired goods or sort of Palestinian designers or
Nice.
so there's a really cool documentary everybody should watch as well. It's called Bye Bye Tibrayas, and it's by Lina Soalem.
Another female director.
Yes, another female director.
Lovely.
She's a documentary director, and her mother. So the documentary is about her mother, Haam Abbas. So the documentary is about her mother, Haam Abbas, who is an actress from Succession, as well as Rami.
Yes.
She plays the mother, I think, in Rami. the
Yes,
Rami show.
yes.
So
I really like her.
Oh, you do?
She's an
Okay.
amazing actress.
She's a great actress. So the documentary is about her, the actress, the mother, going back to her village in Palestine, which she left to move to France to be an actress. And it's about her sort of reconnecting with the different generations of women who lived in their village.
Beautiful.
So it sounds, the trailer looks amazing.
Talking of female directors, we need to move on to the Oscars.
Yeah.
That is the big news,
story of
right?
the
It's the
week.
big story of the week. Is the Oscar nominations came out this week, and we've got the first time ever an Arab woman has been nominated twice. This
Yeah.
is not her first rodeo.
No.
This is her second time now she's been nominated. And Tunisia Kauthar Ben Hania. She's done a docu-fiction hybrid called Four Daughters, which is up for Best Documentary Feature Film at the Academy Awards, which is really
Cool.
It's really exciting. I'm so glad that finally, I know we've had as a Jordanian, Thebe getting nominated quite a while ago now. I think it was 2014.
I interviewed him at the time, the director. He was brilliant.
Did
Yeah,
you?
the film's amazing.
The film is
Thebe,
actually one of my favorite
Yeah,
films of all time.
It's great.
Obviously, as a Jordanian, I feel like a connection to seeing what I
Yeah.
did on the big screen.
Yeah.
But I think it's really nice that there's more like acknowledgement happening for Arab filmmakers, especially female filmmakers, because someone has been snubbed.
Yes, at the Oscars.
Someone has been snubbed, and it is blowing up online. And if you haven't heard about Greta Gerwig not getting a nomination for the huge sensation that was Barbie last year, people are like very divided over this. How do you feel? Come on.
Well, people are annoyed that Greta and Margot Robbie, who played Barbie, were not nominated. I think that it's weird that she hasn't been nominated. I think
weird.
It's strange because, like, I mean, I thought the film was good. Like, I wasn't like obsessed with it like everybody else was. But I think if anything, you can say it was a wonderfully directed film.
Yeah.
I don't really think the script was that well written, but I think as it directed, it was amazing.
Yeah.
So I found that surprising. I'm not really surprised that Margot Robbie wasn't nominated because, like, I guess compared to Ryan Gosling, like maybe his character had more of an arc in the film. I don't know.
I feel like he had more of an arc. I mean, we're going to be so unpopular. Please don't cancel us.
No, don't.
Please
I'm
don't
not saying she was bad, but I'm saying wasn't as Oscar worthy as.
Yeah, I feel like with Margot, it's kind of hard, right, to put in personality into a plastic doll, right, who's confused about being a plastic doll. I felt like it was hard to relate to her, like even as a woman, like, you know, I don't relate to Barbie, right, full stop. So I was like, But I did think that Greta definitely deserved at least a nod at the Oscars, because she had a really successful film, probably one of the most successful films of all time. Okay, they had an amazing marketing budget, but like, let's not get that in the way. But you know, it entertained a lot of people. Like, why not give her a nod? And there's only one female director on the list for Best Director. Okay. So it's like mainly men yet again.
Well, this brings me to a bigger question, which is why I'm not so annoyed about Greta not being nominated, because I'm like, what is really the point of the Oscars or any of these award shows? I mean, I enjoy award shows for the entertainment value. Like you said, Barbie was a huge hit. Yeah. It was like a cultural, like, pivot. Yeah. So I'm like, when your movie is that big and it's that successful, I'm just curious, how much does it matter?
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. That's what I'm saying, right? So I'm like, I wonder if Greta even cares, because she's quite mature. Like, her responses in the past to criticism around Barbie have been very good and very mature.
Yeah, she went on Radio 4.
That's the wrong word to use, but it's been very, like, balanced.
Yeah.
You know?
She went on Radio 4 and she said, like, you know, I made a film. Like, she kind of like bounced back, but in a really subtle way, very Greta of her. I suppose, like, it's interesting you say about, like, you know, successful films. Like, not all successful films have won Oscars. No. Like, famously, wasn't it Groundhog Day? Didn't get even like a nomination.
Love that film.
And yet it's part of our cultural existence. Like, if we have a feeling, we're like, oh, it's like Groundhog Day.
And even like, how many movies were huge Oscar winners and I've never seen them? Will I see all these nominated this year? Probably not. No. It's not on Netflix. Not going to watch it. You know?
So Barbie, don't worry.
Don't worry. Fine. Like, it's fine. Like, Greta, if you're sad, which I'm sure you're probably not, don't be sad. You'll be fine. Also, she's going to be directing the Narnia films. I think I spoke about that before. Like,
oh my God, they're going to bring them back.
You didn't know?
No.
Yes. She has been slated to direct those films.
I can't wait. Oh, no, wait. Maybe if you have said this before.
I probably did. But I think it's really interesting that she's doing that. I wonder how she'll approach it. So that's exciting. Like, Barbie's in the past, okay? Let's look at the future.
Let's all move
Narnia.
on.
And you were there last week.
I was there in Switzerland. No, but I think there is something to talk about. So going back to the actual award shows, your memes on Instagram, like, give me life.
Thank you.
And I know you're so good at like pulling together and like pulling apart what people's reactions and how they, you know, who gets nominated, who wins, and all of this stuff. This year we've got Jimmy Kimmel.
Jimmy Kimmel. So for those of you guys who don't know who Jimmy Kimmel is, he's the host of the Oscars this year, and he is like a late night show. He's the other Jimmy. There's Jimmy Kimmel and Jimmy Fallon.
Yes.
And so he's the other Jimmy.
Don't you feel like Jimmy. Fallon's a bit more famous worldwide?
Fallon is more famous, but he's more annoying. So Kimmel is more likable and more safe and more famous in America than he is famous worldwide. But he is like a safe bet for a host. He's kind of boring. Just a tad boring. Yeah, he's very boring.
Do you not like him?
I don't not like him, but I'm like, his humor is very specific to a very specific It's like vanilla ice
Boring.
cream that's gluten-free and dairy-free.
I'm just saying it loudly now.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting because when we were doing like a bit of research,
yeah.
we were
Or
like, well,
researchers.
we were like, well, the Oscars, last Oscars, obviously Chris Rock got a smack.
Wait, was that last Oscars? Or
It wasn't last Oscars because it was
Again,
the Oscar before, because the last Oscars, it was Jimmy.
And we forgot. So what does that tell you?
So maybe we need to not have Jimmy.
So I have a thought about the host. About who should host.
Who should host it?
Because I think like the Oscars have to think, we need to attract Gen Z. So they need to do one of three things. Either get like a super controversial host, Dave Chappelle, Ricky Gervais, or what's that guy?
Ricky Gervais has done it.
No, he's done Golden Globes. Or
He's
Emmys.
never done the Oscars.
No, he's never done the Oscars.
Oh, okay.
Who's that guy? The young guy who dated Kim Kardashian.
Pete Davidson.
Pete Davidson. So
that would be
he would be
fun.
interesting, right?
Do you think that the youth of that day?
Yes, they'd be like, oh,
Yeah.
what's his name again? I forgot already.
Pete
Davidson. I was going to say Pete Chappelle. My God. Okay, so Dave Chappelle or Pete Davidson? I wish I was faking this.
Pete Davidson.
Pete Davidson. I think they would be interesting, controversial, right?
It's funny how you say Dave Chappelle, because Dave Chappelle is obviously like almost my parents' generation.
But people
Love
know him.
He is so much fun. He's one of my favorite comedians.
Or they should go for someone safe but entertaining, like Tina Fey or Amy Poehler. They did the Golden Globes or the Emmys before, and they're
Together,
funny. They're good. They're really funny.
Yeah.
Or they should go really old school. And do you remember Whoopi Goldberg and Billy Crystal hosting the Oscars?
I'm too young.
I laughed. They were amazing. They would for each segment, they would dress up as part of the movie.
Fun.
They would Billy Crystal dressed up as Kate Winslet from Titanic and jumped out of it. Just make it
Just
fun.
get the SNL guys to do it.
Do something out there crazy.
But do you think that would make great memes?
This is what I'm thinking about.
Would be on
This is all I'm thinking about. What is the meme content? Because no one really cares who wins anymore.
It's interesting because Ricky Gervais keeps going round and round on internet for
the
calling
speeches
out
that he made for Golden Globes. Yeah,
Golden Globes. He'd just call out everybody. He brought up Epstein,
Weinstein,
and he was just like, he's not my friend, he's yours.
Yeah. He was
really
great.
Controversial. They probably don't want him there.
No, they don't. I think the Oscars are having an identity crisis. Do we want to be cool or do we want to be old glamour classic Hollywood that nobody cares about anymore?
Or we just be Jimmy, who's not any.
Who is he's in the in between.
Yeah.
He's just,
Why don't I think we could bring back a Brit? Put in Graham Norton. He's fun.
Oh, he's
Graham
a bit
Norton.
of everything. Yes, he's good.
The Irish guy.
Yeah, I know him. I know the show Graham Norton. It's great.
Maybe it's a bit too British.
No, it's not.
Do you think people know him?
He was on Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen, and that's super mainstream. Once you're on that show, that means people know you. So people know him.
As long as it's not
Graham
James
Norton.
Corden, then everyone's happy.
Oh my God, don't get me started.
Okay. But Kevin Hart, he really wanted to do it. Yes. And then a tweet from 2011 emerged.
That he already apologized for came out. And then I think the Oscars asked him to apologize. And he was like, look, I've apologized 10 times about this. I'm out.
Wow. I wonder if he'd do it. It was apparently, Dave Chappelle talks about it in one of his comedy stand-ups that it was his biggest dream ever. That's all he ever wanted to do.
About Kevin Hart?
Yeah, Kevin Hart only, he went into his showbiz and he was like, one day I'll do the Oscars.
But then again, a full circle moment. The Oscars, do they even matter now? Kevin Hart is one of the most popular, famous, well-paid comedians in the world. He has sold out shows. He has made, movies. People hear his name and they just associate him with a million things. Does it really matter that he's...
But if someone invited me to the Oscars, I would literally run. Yeah,
I would go just to observe and for the meme of it all. But I don't really... I don't know. I just think for actors, who cares?
Who cares?
Yeah.
Well, you heard it here first, guys.
Man, who cares about the Oscars?
There is a man who doesn't care about the Oscars.
Yeah. But I will be watching and I'll be creating content and reporting on it for The National, which is very important. So, yeah.
So everybody, just be sure to watch out for your meme content.
And our national arts.
And the national arts and culture page, which will have Instagram. Everything from the delights that people will be wearing on the red carpet.
Yeah, of course.
To
very important. The most important part, I would say, of the Oscars. Best picture, who cares? On the red carpet, really important. Yeah.
Moving on. So now we're going to go to your normal segment where you tell me what to do.
Okay,
in the town. What do I do in...
I was going to say man of the hour. Man about town. I always... Yeah, sorry. Man about town.
When we started this, it was all about me learning where to go, what to do. I'm coming up to a year now in the UAE.
Do you feel like you've learned anything?
I do. I have learned loads.
Such as? Putting you on the spot now. I don't do well in exams, man. One takeaway, one learning.
One learning. Yeah, definitely enjoy the winter.
Oh, okay. I was thinking more arts and culture.
Oh, like more arts and culture.
Not Dubai, but that's a good Dubai one.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I actually have really enjoyed nature. Oh. I know that's not away from arts and culture.
Yeah, but it reminds us of our bucolic background, nature. Yeah.
Yeah, so just like enjoy nature and just like try and be in nature as much as possible. And the parks are just delightful. And they actually have lots of like outside exhibitions going on in the parks. So there's Al Emarat Park in Abu Dhabi. There's like beautiful like fountains, sculptural fountains that you can just walk around with, like inscribed with poetry. Like I would say like these are my favorite places at the moment in the winter.
This weekend as well, go to Dye Dubai, which is in Expo City. Expo City. So it's the Light Festival. I mentioned it last week, but I'm just reminding listeners if they forgot. Like you can go. There's 7 Emirati artists doing amazing light art, and it's very immersive. I'm going to go to a preview tomorrow, so I can talk about that next week.
Nice.
Tomorrow's Friday, right? Yeah. So I will go and tell everybody about that. So it's very cool. So check it out.
Nice.
But aside from that, this weekend I'm also going to Hamilton. So that is really cool.
You guys interviewed Hamilton.
Yes, Farah interviewed him last week.
Nice.
And I'm excited because I've never seen the show. I've heard about it. It's like a huge thing.
Are you a musical fan?
I love musicals live. I don't like musicals on the screen.
I don't like musicals.
But live is good because you can hear them sing. Like, no, I'm not a fan. But you like concerts, so it just...
It's different though, isn't it?
It's different.
It's not like, someone just being like, oh, I'm going to sit down. I'm going to sit down in my chair. You must stand over there.
Well, there's different kinds of musicals, right? There's the ones where they sing the whole time, like Les Miserables, which is like a bit...
Too much.
It's intense.
Maybe that's what I'm always judging them against.
I like the ones where they're talking and then they sing and then they talk and then they sing.
Yeah.
So
is
like
it
Wicked,
moving the story along? Oh,
is it moving the story along? Or is it just singing for singing's sake? Like, we get it, you can sing.
Yeah. But everybody loves Hamilton. And it's amazing that it's coming. And you're going to be in Abu Dhabi.
I'm going to be in Abu Dhabi to watch it.
Yeah.
So I will report back on my first experience of Hamilton. But for those people in Dubai, you have to go to Quoz Arts Fest, which is happening this weekend, 27th, 28th. It's on from 8 a.m. to 11:30 p.m. So what it is... That's interesting. What it is it's a music festival with art and food and like a marketplace. It's been happening for like around 11 years, I think. And every year it gets bigger and better and more interesting. There's a couple of new art shows opening there from Carbon 12. They're like
Big Hass is going to be there.
Big Hass is going to be there. He's like a hip-hop DJ from Saudi.
Check you.
I know.
I'm actually impressed you knew that,
I think I interviewed him once. I should say I think I did.
I only know that because I saw that his name was repeated on
both days,
on both
right?
days, yeah.
But for those of you who don't know me, I actually don't know much about like cool music stuff. So I wrote a list down of interesting musical people who will be there. There will be Marsiba, Stick No Bills, Usha J, Amina bin Sauda, the Synaptic and Friends. So he's a very cool Arab rapper. DJ Patchouli, Rust, and a whole bunch of other people. So the reason why I suggest everybody go and check them out is because I went last year and it was the first time I saw and was introduced to this guy that everybody knows now called Saint Levant, which we have spoken about before.
We've spoken about that.
So he is an Arab, Palestinian, Serbian, French, Algerian. He's like a mix of a whole... Yes, he is a mixture of things. And he raps in all of these languages.
He raps in like Arabic, English, French
in one song,
one song.
If you're trilingual, wonderful. If you're bilingual, okay. If you're one-lingual, what's going on?
Yeah,
but
you're lost.
You're lost.
Use subtitles.
But listen, he definitely knows how to make a crowd excited. Yeah. So I definitely experienced that last year. The ladies like him. It's interesting. His vibe is interesting. His aesthetic is interesting. It's not my aesthetic or vibe. But
I think he looks really cool. He was on the front cover of GQ recently, and late last year.
He won GQ Man of the Year in France and in Middle East.
He was nodded to in the GQ Middle East. I think it's Martez that won.
Oh, no, I'm talking last year.
Oh, last year.
Last year.
So yeah, I think he's quite an interesting figure.
He is. But what's interesting is he regionally Quoz Arts Fest, and then next year he's going to be in Coachella. So what a cool career for him. So what I'm saying is go to Quoz Arts Fest this weekend. You never know who's going to be in Coachella next year. You can be like, I saw him or them or her first at at Quoz Arts Fest.
I love that.
Isn't that cool?
I love seeing artists first.
Yes,
like
exactly.
being like part of that crew.
Like, yeah, I know
Yeah.
him. Yeah.
I remember I saw like, well, this is again showing my age. I saw Block Party with like two other, well, I say two.
I don't know who that is.
They were like an indie group.
Okay.
They got quite big actually in the UK, but I remember seeing them in like a pub in Bedford. With like
just
10
chilling?
people. And they were like playing and we were like, whoa, they're in a pub in Bedford.
You know, I used to be a huge concert goer when I was younger.
And
I don't know what
happened?
changed. I don't know. I think
Is
I
it
just got
noisy?
Maybe. I think I
too
just got old.
noisy.
Like I've seen Red Hot Chili Peppers, Placebo, Cranberries. Who's
Placebo
the
was
other
my
guy?
first ever gig.
Oh, really?
Look at us. We've got a little Venn diagrams emerging.
I met the guy, whatever his name was.
Brian.
Yes. Walking down the street in New Zealand. I was
Did
like,
you?
Oh, I just saw your show. Yeah.
Look at this, our little Venn diagram.
I think that was
this
my
is
first
definitely not going to
encounter with a
overlap
celebrity.
when Farah comes back with her
Taylor Swift.
very much Taylor Swift music
That's cool
taste.
as well, you know.
No, it is cool.
Yeah.
But like I think you and we have like a
I think in that
history.
yes, in that phase of my life I was into that, but now I'm not into any of that. But it's cool.
I feel like you're the kind of guy with your pocket handkerchief who'd listen to
it's
Chopin.
called a pocket square.
Pocket square. Is it called a pocket square?
Yeah, because a handkerchief you blow
you
into
blow
it, you would
into it.
never blow into this.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, just saying.
Astaghfirullah. But wait a second. So do you just listen to Mozart, Beethoven, Chopin?
No, I like those. I like classical. I like music, but mostly 80s, 90s music. Like I like,
Okay.
What's his name? Of course I forgot his name.
Yeah.
How Can I Live Without You? Tell me. I'm not going to sing. You know what's his name? You guys know the guy with the big hair. I love Michael Bolton. I listen to him all the time. I like Michael Bolton. I like Whitney Houston. I like, those big powerhouse singers.
You should have come with us to Mariah.
I'm a big fan. I saw her live in Dubai as well. So
Okay.
yeah. So she's
fine
cool.
then.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. We'll have to find another gig that we go to.
Yes. The last gig I went to actually was Justin Timberlake, and that was not fun. I think
went to
that's
see
what put me
Justin.
off concerts.
He was a bit. He came to the UK to London. Was it that tour?
I don't know. He was in
Rock
Abu
You.
Dhabi, and he was like, "I'm bringing sexy back." I was like, "No,
That
you're
was
not.
it.
I'm leaving."
Yeah.
That was it. Like
You haven't.
He was dancing and panting and sweating, and this is before the Britney memoir, before like everybody going off him. I was like, "What is going on? Like, how is this guy
stop.
ever famous?"
Just make trolls.
Yeah.
My children would just be like, make trolls now.
Oh, Trolls, yes, of course.
he does that.
His biggest hit, him and Anna Kendrick. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
she's
yes.
around, isn't she?
Somewhere.
Somewhere. Lost.
But aside from Quoz Arts Fest, so an exhibition everybody should see, which I checked out last weekend, is one of my favorite artists, Haam Harab. He's a Palestinian artist. He is showing his work at Tabari Art Space in DIFC.
Nice.
It is a kind of like a retrospective. So a lot of his work from 1999 until 2023 is on show. And the running theme in all his work is Palestine. He's Palestinian, like I said. He's actually from Gaza. And he created an amazing body of work for Abu Dhabi Art called Dystopia is Not a Noun, which was in reaction to what was happening in Gaza at that time when his family were in Gaza during the bombings.
Wow.
So some of those pieces from that work is a part of the show. But what's so interesting is that you see throughout his practice since 1999, the materials he uses are different. He's done photo collage, he's done documentation, he's done like painting, charcoal on drawing. But you see the theme is always the same, this idea of figuring out, exploring, understanding his Palestinian heritage, his Palestinian identity, what it means to be Palestinian right now. He's using like Palestinian iconography, so like the watermelon or like mosques from Palestine or Palestinian like foliage, like all different representations of Palestine to make sure that he revives and sort of keeps it alive in his art. And
beautiful. It sounds
it's
really
really stunning.
beautiful.
It's really
Yeah.
stunning to see all of his, like a big portion of his work from different parts of his career. And his latest work is made with this material called gauze. It's a material that is you use when you sort of have burn marks or you get burnt, and it's also sculptors use it when they're as a material for sculpture. And he's used it in this really interesting way on paper to make it look like human bodies. So
wow.
you'll see like a figure emerging out of it, and it's sort of like almost like a 3D version of his drawings of Dystopia is Not a Noun. So you see these semblance of bodies kind of floating, and it makes you connect to why people use this material when people are injured or they've had burnt marks, and again relates to what's happening in Gaza right now, because like I said, he's from Gaza. So it's a very beautiful, intense, interesting show to watch, and just to see that a Palestinian artist has spent his career thus far exploring his Palestinian identity in so many different facets. So I highly suggest you guys go check that out.
Stunning. And that's at DIFC.
DIFC. It's on
Nice.
to February 11th.
Okay, and now I see you've brought a prop with you.
Yes, I have a prop.
This is such a man thing to do.
It is a book. Remember
Yay.
these things, books?
No.
Politica by Humana Kassab. So I wrote an article, which I talked about on the show a couple of weeks ago.
Hand me the book. It's very beautiful.
It is. It's a stunning artwork on it.
Yeah.
So I wrote an article a couple of weeks ago about the books you should get excited about in 2024.
Yes.
So every month there's like a book coming out that I think people should read, and this is the first one. So the book Politica by Humana Kassab, she is a Lebanese-Australian writer. She has done something really difficult to do in this book. So it's a literary novel, meaning that it's kind of like it's a real study in character as opposed to like this happens and then ooh, exciting incident, and this happens. So it's set in an unnamed country region that is going through a type of revolution. All the characters have Arab or I guess Muslim names. And what she does that's very interesting is even though she doesn't really specify what the region is, what the actual conflict is about, and just focuses on the people who are immersed in the conflict. So it's like whether it's families or married couples or fathers and life happening regardless of that, it feels relatable in the sense that you can understand the context without knowing the details, which is really difficult to do as a writer. And what I'll do is I just want to read the first sentence because that's how I judge a good book.
Is that how you do it?
Yeah, whenever I pick up a book, I'll read the first sentence, first
and then
paragraph.
You'll just judge it.
If it grips me, I'm like, oh, I have to read the rest.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So
I don't do that.
What do you do?
Judge it by its cover.
Okay, that's probably. I mean, if you're going to judge a book by a cover, this is the book to judge. It's the stunning cover.
No, it's a really stunning cover. No, I don't actually do that all the time.
I'm sure you don't. I'm sure you read the back blurb, right?
I read the black blurb.
Because I know, for those of you who aren't writers, like the most difficult thing in a novel is the first sentence. Politica, I'm going to read you guys just the first sentence. So the first chapter is called The Line About the East. And the first sentence goes, what did school matter when there was a war going on? ? So if you read that, you're like, what does school matter when a war is going on? I have to keep reading. So
that was a good line.
This is my pick for people to pick up.
For this week.
You can buy it online or it's available.
Can I just borrow yours?
Yes, for sure. You can borrow mine after I'm done with it. I'm about halfway through.
Okay, fine. Yeah. And you're enjoying it so far?
I'm enjoying it, and I'm going to interview the author, which I'm very excited about. So I'll write a review and an interview with her. So yeah.
Beautiful. Where is she based?
Australia.
Nice. No, definitely. I need to. That's one of my. Oh, so lame. New Year's resolution.
No, it's fine. It's
read
good.
More.
Mine is to go to the gym. It's not going to happen.
See, I already do that. I don't read though. Maybe we just need to maybe as one person.
It's fine. Stay at the gym. I don't want to go. You can stick with your gym stuff. I will just read. I'll work out my eyes.
You can keep
and my
reading, and I'll keep going to the gym.
Yeah. But I will try.
That's it for today. Thank you so much for watching or listening.
And if you like this episode, and how dare you not like this episode, you have to follow us on Instagram and listen to us on wherever podcasts are available, right?
Yeah, subscribe.
Subscribe, all that stuff.
Tell your friends.
Can you tell that this is not my normal gig? See you next week.